it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Better nice, I'm looking at the camera. Better nice, good, good, good. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful day. Preloaders, V.I.Preloaders, welcome back to the channel, guys. Always a pleasure to have you guys here with me. You know this by now, or at least you should. For those of you that have never been to this channel before, welcome to you as well. My name's Robert. The name of this wonderful channel is Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. I'm out here in Southern California, and if I'm ever in Southern California, there's three places I'm gonna go. First, of course, my California ambassadors, G-Pops and Gigi. Check them out on YouTube, guys. Awesome people, my friends, and my California ambassadors. Next is Laidlaw Harley-Davidson, right, to go see Matt. And lastly, Indy Ridge, and that is my boy Steve. So that's where I am today, guys. If you're not familiar with Indy Ridge boots, guys, or their gloves, or anything that comes from this company, I want you to watch the video that I did last year when I came here to visit Steve. And he was nice enough to show me around his warehouse. And so you can see, listen, he makes motorcycle boots, yes. Something I was never into because I didn't like the way they looked. I wore sneakers all the time. And then I saw my boy, Cycle Fanatics, John, wearing a pair of Comanche Indy Ridge boots, and I loved them. I didn't even know they were motorcycle boots. But anyway, make a long story short, I wanted to have a pair of those boots. And that's when I was introduced to Steve, thanks to John. And it's been awesome ever since. Just awesome, awesome stuff, guys. But the man is so meticulous. I mean, he just knows his stuff, right? And he's a stickler about everything. And I understand that because I'm the same way when it comes to certain things. I'm very particular. So he's not going to just put out anything, guys. The boots, the gloves, everything is top notch. No corners cut. And stuff that most people wouldn't even notice are a big deal to him. I have several pair of Indy Ridge boots. I love all of the boots, guys. I'm not going to tell you I like something that I don't. Trust me, these boots are comfortable, so they kind of check all the boxes. They look good, they're comfortable, and for what motorcycle boots are supposed to be for, they excel in that as well, and that's protection. As a matter of fact, they have a level 2 protection, which in this country, United States, don't even have to be at that level. But like I said, he's not going to do anything half-assed. The gloves, top notch, comfortable, no seams on the inside. Like when he first told me, you're not going to feel any seams on the inside of the glove. Again, that's something I'm so accustomed to feeling. I never even thought to not want it to be there. But good thing he did that for me. So trust me, guys, go to IndyRidgeUSA.com and check out that website. And I'm guaranteeing you're going to see something that you like. And oh my gosh, there's other stuff coming. So we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about the plans for Indy Ridge and for you guys, what's going to be available to you. But we're going to talk to him again today because he actually expanded his warehouse a little bit so he can have more space. So there's good things happening here. We're going to talk to a couple of people here, at least say hi, that work for Steve here at Indy Ridge. All right, so without further ado, let's go inside. Let's meet the man that makes all of this stuff happen. Of course, I already know some of this stuff. I'm super excited to get my hands on pretty much all of it. Steve, what's up, brother?
What's up?
I love this guy.
What's going on, Robert?
I love
How you
this
doing?
guy. He
I
said
was almost done. I was almost done.
He said, 1 second. You notice guys, he didn't even look up at me. I'm telling you, he's hyper-focused, hyper-focused. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, man. Thanks for having me back here again.
1 year later, huh?
Yeah, man. Tell us who, for those that don't know, tell us who you are. I know I can't use the
I own
term.
Indy Ridge before
Yes.
you can even say it. Before you can spit the words out of your mouth. I own Indy Ridge.
Uh-huh.
I started Indy Ridge.
What's your name?
Steve.
Okay, okay.
And still on them, still going, still here.
How long have you been doing this? How long has Indie Ridge been around?
We incorporated in 2017.
Okay.
I bought my partner's half of the company in 2019. And I've owned it as the sole owner ever since. My partner is still, he's very much involved in the company, but he's a full stack engineer, Zach, and he's the only other person that I trust to take care of the company. So he just has an incredible skill set that is very valuable, and I probably couldn't afford him full time. So
yeah, absolutely. So listen, guys, if you're interested in seeing Steve ride his motorcycle, he's in practice session number 99. You can go check that out. And like I said, we did a video last year. I definitely want you to check out that video. So I don't want us to be repetitive with some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. So what we're going to talk about today, Steve, is what's new and what's planned for Indie Ridge.
Well, what's new is kind of the last year and a half has been a transition year. It's taking something from that was a little bit smaller to now something that's a little bit larger, and that's growing at a rate that I didn't quite anticipate.
Yeah.
You think you hope you're successul, and then sometimes it happens quicker than you think.
Yeah.
I think that last year's interview was, I was the first time I didn't hate myself, watch myself on video. So I think that I still get people talking about last year's interview and how they watched it, and how I get comments all the time, and the kind of person, as I talk through the process and the meticulousness of it, and they got to know me. Yep. I get to know them every day when they call.
Yeah, because you answer the phone.
I do, yeah. For this particular interview, I will turn off the ringer, but good thing we've got Steph back there.
Yes.
She's the nice one.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to do that video, is because Indie Ridge, great product, great customer service, but who is behind that? So getting to know you and seeing how meticulous that you are with everything that you do, and knowing that you actually answer the phones and you read all of the comments and the emails, it means more when I can put a face to the name. So that's awesome.
Yeah, no, and like I said earlier, I think, there's a few watershed moments that a company has, and I think that interview was, it was really good. And so me personally, thank you for taking the time to make such a good interview.
Oh, my pleasure.
I actually watched. I've watched that thing a few times.
More
times than than I care to admit. But it was good.
Okay, absolutely, man. It was organic. Again, when we first talked on the phone, we talked for
like 2 hours.
Hours. Yeah,
it was a while.
So so it made sense that all I'm doing with a camera in my hand is having a conversation with you. So
and we have nothing planned that we're supposed to talk about. Things are supposed to hit.
Yep.
So I don't have the energy personally to have a different persona.
Nor do I.
It's like, I'm still working here. We're still working here a lot. We got a couple of 3 a.m. nights last week.
Yeah.
And
panning around your office while you're talking. You can go ahead.
Yeah, and it's I don't have the energy to be somebody else, and I don't have the energy to be someone else with my customers. So I want them to get to know me. I want them to get to know who's behind the product. It's important.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I think that a lot of times customers are accustomed to talking to a giant corporation, and that's the kind of mentality that I think Amazon has generated, is that, oh no, there's actually a person on the other side of that transaction. And so they're used to just thinking, oh, I'm buying from this faceless, nameless corporation. So it was a conscious decision to pull all the hard work that I did for Amazon and transitioned almost exclusively to the website.
Yeah.
That was a really big transition, but I knew that Amazon has trained people to return, to not care, to, you know, like they're the most important person in the world. And, you know, we're all kind of trying to make our way. So it was important to me, and it still is important to me, to know that I care about my customers and that, you know, they support the business, they support my employees. And so I felt like I still feel like it's important for them to realize that there's another person on the other end of this transaction.
You just said something I didn't know. So you were selling your products on Amazon and you pulled them off for the reason that you just said.
Yeah. So that's actually how we started, because in retail, when you're selling retail and you've got a retail product, you can sell through brick and mortar, which comes with its own set of headaches. You need accounts receivable, they have net terms. You know, you need sales reps, you need sell-through, like just a whole other set of headaches. What Amazon did is they took all those headaches away by having FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. So you have your products, you send them into Amazon, they would distribute them throughout all their different fulfillment centers across the country, and that's how they achieved, you know, 1-day Prime, 2-day Prime, stuff like that. And initially it was great. It took a lot of the pain points away from fulfillments and returns and you know, customer service. You dealt with pretty much with Amazon. But at the end of the day, I felt like it was the rates, just, you know, the referral rates and all the fees, and you know, now they've just introduced, if you have too much stock in Amazon, like too much supply, they charge you a higher fee. Now they just introduced a fee where if you have too little supply, they charge you a fee. And they're stored, and then there's the regular storage fees and long-term storage fees and return fees, 20% return fee, return costs. The referral went to, so they, all in all, they took about half more of every dollar that you make. And it's great, but it was not sustainable for us. It was too much work for the effort, you know, having to deal with that amount of returns and that amount of customer service. So I said, let's bring everything in-house, and where we can have relative control over the company. And I won't put stuff back on Amazon.
Awesome. So speaking of products, is there any products in particular you want to share with us that are in the works, already right around the corner?
Probably by the time I'm currently photographing and doing a Rubik's Cube and reading about the history of drag racing, of course. I am, hopefully by the time this video comes out, I said that the last time we made this and it didn't happen, but hopefully by the time this video comes out, we'll have a few new styles of boots.
Okay.
I'm expanding the ventilated line, which is called the Wingman Collection. So if you can imagine the Comanche, which is part of the Phoenix Collection, the waterproof collection, there's going to be a ventilated one. It's called Armstrong. Because I named the ventilated collection after test pilots from the X-15 program.
Gotcha.
Neil Armstrong was one of them. And so there were only 12. Scott Crossfield is where we got the name Crossfield. Pete Knight is the black, the full black Bose. That's what I was wearing at the test ride the other day. These are my old ones. These are like version, I don't even know. Those are Knight, and I've got Armstrong, which I'm photographing right now. And these are nice. These are ventilated. And this is my high-tech photographing studio. And that's, we've got the ventilated Mohawk, which is called Walker, named after Joe Walker. And then we have a black version of the Comanche.
Black Comanches.
Yes.
Nice.
So this is the Phoenix collection. So it's just going to be called the Black Comanche.
I'm super excited about the Comanches in black, and of course these, because like I told you guys, the Comanches were the first boots that I saw, and I was like, wow, I like those. Now they're ventilated, and that makes me happy because I live in South Georgia.
Yeah.
So as much as I like my Comanches, I don't really wear them often.
Well, I had never had a chance actually to try to ride my ventilated boots in a more humid climate.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just in Tampa recently for Forgotten Angels camp out. And I wore the special edition, but basically the night, or the Crossfield, a ventilated pair in Tampa on an FXR, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, yeah.
On my ride home last night, I mean, we had beautiful weather. On the ride home, I was warm.
Yeah, yeah.
My feet got a little cold actually because there was too much air coming through. You know, so it's.
What version were those boots that you were wearing last night?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
everything now that's coming out is version 5.
Version 5. Okay.
Yeah.
And the version 5s, now you guys remember, that's not over a period of how many years?
Over 5 years.
Oh, okay, good, good. My point in asking that question, guys, is just when you think a product is good, for all of us, it probably would be great. This guy would be like, no, I don't like this, I don't like that. And that's with everything, the boots, the gloves.
Still working on those gloves.
Still working on the gloves.
Still working on those gloves. I think,
Unbelievable.
yeah, so like I switched back to an inner stitch, but trying to figure out, you know, like sometimes like my dad has to call me. He just says step away because I'll be holding a glove in my hand and I'll be jotting notes down directly on the glove. I've got pages and pages trying to get gloves to fit right, and because they just never do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. And so I don't want anybody to ever be able to say, "Oh, well, I've already tried Indie Ridge boots and they suck."
Yeah.
It's like, well, no. I mean, I version them out. I try to make them better for a reason. You might have tried one batch of one version and one pair. The good news is that, you know, if you're ever unhappy with our products, you can always return them. I'll always take your money back.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want you having to commit to.
You mean you'll always give their money back?
Correct.
Yeah.
I will always refund them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I don't want you to have to commit to something that you're unhappy with. Now there is a point in time where it's like, yeah, I'll let you return them.
Yeah.
If I see another order come through with the money that I just gave you back and you just upgrade to the version 5s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which are CE2 certified now.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. Look at that. So this is all new. That inner tongue, all of that stuff on there is new.
And it's one of the reasons it actually is version 5. Not a lot changed in construction from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
There were some spots that I found that I upgraded, but the big change, and I talked about it a little bit last time, we didn't have the final certificate in hand yet. Now we do. Yeah. And we're redoing the website, so I'll put her on the website as well. But the big reason I decided to make the jump was because now it's official.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know what CE means. You know, they've heard CE. Is it CE certified? Is it CE2 certified, or what is it? But it's.
I didn't know what it meant until you told me.
Yeah. I mean, I asked John from Cycle Fanatics, and I said, "Oh, we just got CE." I asked Clint.
Yeah.
Next door from Highway 66 Choppers. In America, people don't really know what it means.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's not required here.
What does it mean?
Oh, it's a French phrase. It's certificate. Blah, blah.
Okay.
It's I don't know what the actual CE translates to because it's not an American phrase.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's on the back of your iPhone. in Europe and in a lot of places in the world, you can't wear non-CE rated gear. Okay. So like in France, they're actually incredibly strict about it. If you're wearing gloves or boots or whatever, and you're on a motorcycle and you get pulled over and your gloves aren't CE certified, they'll write you a big ticket.
Wow.
And that's everywhere else in the world. I mean, we're Americans, we can wear, I mean, like I said, I was in Florida,
We can wear these.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can wear these. We don't even have to wear these.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just wearing Vans today because I have been wearing my boots for a long time, and it would be dishonest for me to say that I only wear my boots all the time. You know, exactly. Because they're legitimate motorcycle boots. Yeah. And that was important to me to actually show that they're not just cool looking boots. Yes, they look cool. Yeah. Their primary function is to be a legitimate motorcycle boot. Comfort is second, style is tertiary. And so I voluntarily sent these to Italy, have them tested, and they give you your results back. I mean, there's no requirement to do it in America. Yeah. But it was really important to me to show, and once I got the certificate and once I got our results, I put it right on the tongue. So that you can see that the test is EN 13634:2017. They've upgraded the test. This is the last version of the test, but you see those numbers, 1, 2, 2, 2. Those all mean something.
And we talked about that, and you told me you were going to do that, and it's an excellent idea. It is. I mean, even though most of us, like you said, we don't know what the hell it means, but I see a picture of a motorcycle, I see numbers, it's just official. And what you're telling me is even that level is higher than what's required in this country.
Oh yeah, and in the last video, I said they're probably some of the safest boots you can wear. Yep. And I wouldn't trust my feet in another boot because I don't know what's in them. Yeah. But I know what's in mine. Yeah. And I know people who I could probably name 10 people off the top of my head who have feet because they were wearing my shoes, because they emailed me and they told me. Yep. Yep. And I've had people who we know who would have had their foot amputated. I had a customer call us, email us recently. He said, I forget what it was. It was a Chevy Silverado or something. Come to a stop on the side of his boot, and the paramedics had to cut out the laces and pull out his foot. And if you're wearing Vans riding, your foot's like, this is you sneeze on this boot and it's gonna break. Yeah. And look, like I like Vans. They're great.
They're good for riding a skateboard.
They're good for riding a skateboard. They're good for, I'm in the office today. I got to catch up on a bunch of work. Yeah. I'm not walking around. We had a long day yesterday riding there and Elsinore and back. So yeah, today I'm wearing Vans. But I wear my boots just as often because they are comfortable and they're warm.
Yeah, too. Yeah. Can I get another look at those black Comanches?
Yeah.
And the black Comanches that are not ventilated, these, and then these that are ventilated. Is this what you're saying you're hoping is going to be out by the time this video comes out?
Correct, yeah. Okay, so this is these are the Comanches, exactly the same in black. Yeah, it's just a two-tone.
And these have a little different kind of sole.
Yeah, so the Comanche has a different outer sole. And it's to provide a little bit more grip. Yeah. Basically. There's trade-offs when you have the exposed teeth versus the recessed teeth. Yeah. And this is actually a question that I get a lot, is that what's the difference between the Crow and something like the Knight? Yeah. Or like what's the difference? One has teeth that are recessed, one has teeth that are out.
Yeah.
Now, the trade-off is one is going to, and another reason why I decided to make a full integer jump from 4 to 5 is because in testing out this rubber, I'll break out one of my tools, testing out the rubber and making sure the tread is about as grippy as your car tire, almost.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to be slip proof? Now I have to go through a separate certification process, a domestic certification process to even claim they're slip proof.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's these will be out, Black Comanche, and then we're expanding the ventilator line, and then there's a special edition one that's probably gonna release later on. That I only made 290 pairs of, so they're gonna go quick. A lot of people have already reserved them. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You want to expand on that later at all?
I can talk about it, and I'll tell you what it is, and then you can cut it out if you want, and I can show it to you.
Okay.
So I can show you what. Well, okay. So, because the ventilated collection was dedicated to the test pilot of the X15 program, I had an Indy Ridge insider who was a test pilot at Edwards Air Force Base. He happened to have a box of scrap, metal. The first Blackbirds, I don't know how many of you know about planes and about Air Force planes, but the SR-71 is probably the most famous plane ever made. The first 3 Blackbirds that ever came off the line at Lockheed Martin, at the time they were called the YF-12A. The YF-12C was actually to throw off the Russians, when in reality, this was Cold War stuff. So the first 3 Blackbirds to ever come off the line from Lockheed, one is on display in the National Air Force Museum. One crashed but was salvaged and repurposed. And one crashed directly into the ground. The 2 pilots ejected safely. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. And there is a debris field deep into Edwards, and you have to know where it is. First you have to get on Edwards, then you have to take an ATV to drive out to the crash site. You got to know where it is, and it's been there since the 60s. And so this test pilot, one of my Indy Ridge insiders had this box. He said, I've had this box forever. I give it to friends. Do you want to do something cool with it? And I was like, absolutely, I do. That's awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. He was actually the one that helped me come up with the idea of naming them after the test pilots. So shout out to Jonathan Wright. But he had this box of scrap, and I'm pretty sure this is legal that I'm doing this. I'll find out if Lockheed hits me up or Edwards says, I've actually contacted some people from the military, and they said, no, that sounds pretty cool, actually. And my grandfather worked at Lockheed for his entire career, so and he died when I was really young. So this is kind of a tribute to him, because I know he worked in Burbank in the 60s at Lockheed. And if you know what that means he worked on Skunk Works, which is their where they made their secretive stuff. I didn't get to know him as well as I want. He died when I was 10. And so I would hope that he likes what I'm doing today. This is a long time ago. But the boot the special edition boot that I was wearing yesterday has the transcript written on the tongue of the conversation between kind of a famous CIA pilot who was actually flying the YF-12A, the Blackbird, and he said, "We have a right engine on fire. Can you confirm?" And Tower says, "Confirm." Yeah. And then SR-71 turning 2-2. Engine's on fire. We're punching out. And the tower says, "Understood, ejecting." So they ejected. So it's a truncated version of that conversation on the tongue. That's the visual element of that's what makes it, you know, from a visual perspective, that's what makes it special. But like with the Risk boots, where it came with a $1,300 piece of artwork on the inside of the box,
I have a pair.
There's got to be something else. There's got to be something else for it to be a special edition. So let me move these out of the way.
Blade in the body to block the combo.
Oh, I got to move my giant bolt cutters out of the way. This is what a Blackbird looks like when it hits the ground doing Mach 3. So this is titanium. This is, you know, unbreakable steel or unbreakable metal, but it turns into all these beautiful colors. This is the fuel line. I think, I'm almost positive. I need to double check with a few Air Force people. This is the fuel line. The fuel line caused the crash.
Yeah.
This is a piece of the fuselage. That's that Blackbird paint. This is the first Blackbird ever created. So the boot's cool as hell. It's got that tongue. You saw them yesterday, they look good.
Yeah.
It's going to come up with a little piece of scrap.
Really?
The first Blackbird ever made. Yeah.
Nice. How many of these boots did you say you made?
I made 290. A lot of them are already spoken for.
Yeah.
So this is going to go quick. I'm not going to charge, you know, $1,500.
Yeah.
Like I had to for the Risk boots, but that's the special edition that's coming out. I don't know when, but soon.
All right, guys. So I talked to you about the meticulousness, right? So this is beyond that, right? This is just the creative mind. I wish I can be inside of his head to see what's going on, because there's a story behind all of the boots, right? It's not just boots. And when you get a pair of these boots and you open up that box, it's almost like an experience. And anyway, especially if it's those Risk boots. I mean, that's just beautiful. Any boots or shoes or anything I've ever had with a box, the box is trash. I still got that box for those Risk boots.
The company slogan, I guess you can call it, is the art of risk. And I came up with that just off the cuff. We were about to launch the Risk boot, and I was just typing out words, and I was like, the art of risk. And then I thought that's got some legs to it, actually. Yeah, it's the art of risk. It's pretty on the nose. But as an idea, it's actually pretty interesting, because A, it applies to what we do. We ride. But it applies to everything in life. The risk of trying something new, the risk of going out on a limb, the risk of not doing something, the risk of staying comfortable and in your comfort zone, the risk of not being too scared to take a class with you, to not want to look stupid in front of the camera. Like, those are all risks that they're not taking, which can have real life consequences. And it does. We make those kinds of choices every day. This is a test print of the art that's going on one of the new boxes. They made a movie about this situation. The person who made this, the person who painted it, his name is Spencer Reinhard. And the movie is called American Animals. Fantastic movie. Spencer's a friend of mine. I reached out to him a few years ago because I had a question about some of the artwork in the film. And when Spencer was 22, him and his college friends took the risk of stealing the world's most valuable book. It's called Birds of America by John James Audubon. About $13 million. They had this book in this special collections library, guarded by a single librarian. And they planned this heist to steal it. And they were kids. So they screwed it. I mean, they stole a rare copy of a Darwin book and then tried to sell it, but they were almost immediately caught. Spencer served, I think, 7 years in prison. And I think he's my age, maybe a year older. And I own several pieces of his work now because I think it's fantastic. Like, I really wanted this piece, but it was pretty pricey. Yeah. So I don't know if I could afford this one, but this is going to be on the cover of one of the boxes, because it's not just about, when everything goes right. It's, well, you took a risk and it didn't go your way. Yeah. But, he came out the other side, and he's a fantastic artist.
So you're definitely an art buff.
I appreciate art. I love art in general. I wouldn't call myself an art buff, but I like visual storytelling, and that can come in a lot of forms. I try to do a little storytelling with the company in general. It's not just a boot that you wear; it's got something behind it.
Yeah, because it's even literature in the box explaining to you. Yeah. Okay. Do you know which? Clearly, you don't know which box you're going to put this on yet, right? Which boot?
Oh, probably the Wingman. Okay. Because we've got the skull. Yep. And there's another version of the skull coming, but I also want to be able to do various types of artwork from different artists. Yeah. I want the ability to swap out a new piece of art when I want to for the cover, because people love the artwork that comes with that boot. People frame them, people keep them, and I want to have a consistent run of new art, new stories, new things that speak to me that I can then share with other people. So this is what knowing him. Knowing his story, knowing the movie. I mean, the movie is fantastic. American Animals. Go watch it if you have time. It tells this whole story. It's got some famous actors in it. And the fact that I know him, he allowed me to use one of his pieces. And so it's gonna, when you open up the cardboard box, the shipping box, this is what's going to be on the cover.
Awesome. All right, so that's good stuff. Can we look at the warehouse? I know we did it already in the first video.
It's changed a little bit.
All right, good. Let's see what we got.
We had to change things up because last time. So like I said, the video, the interview that you shot last year was kind of one of those watershed moments where it's like it really gave us a chance to a lot of people to see how we do things, how I do things, how the rest of the team does things. That forced us to get more room, make some changes. Before we had long-term storage right on this wall, and then kind of mid-term storage, and then it was, we packed a lot of stuff into here, but we couldn't keep just packing more stuff into this space. So we had to get a second warehouse, and we had to think about, okay, well, we've got not just more boots coming because those are all here already. We've got apparel, like the shirt that I'm wearing. these are the blanks. I might just put out blanks.
Yeah.
Because I like a simple white T-shirt. You know, it's got a little Indie Ridge patch. It's got some red taping on the shoulder.
And that's going to be the signature, right?
That's, yeah, that is the red line.
The red line. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So you know, these come in white, a heather gray, a dark navy blue that was supposed to be black, but it turned out to be a dark navy blue,
Yeah.
black, charcoal, and then kind of a brick red. So I might just sell the blanks because we are getting into apparel. We're getting into other products, not just you're wearing one of our hats that are coming off, that are coming out.
All right, guys, I don't know if you noticed this earlier, but I've been wearing this hat the whole time, right? And this is just one of the prototypes. This is actually one of my favorites because this is embroidered. This is nice. Nice fitting. And of course, I'm already wearing one of the t-shirts. It's very comfortable.
And as soon as I
Get out of my shot, Steve.
So we were out of stock for a long time on boots. And like I said, like we got more popular over the last year and a half. Probably due to a lot of things. You know, answering the phone, talking to customers, being different, but having people like you and a lot of really good people support the brand when, again, they never had to. Nobody ever had to. And so I feel like before last year, I felt like we were on Indie Ridge version 0.5.
Yeah.
This year, I feel like we're on Indie Ridge version 1.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like, okay, even though I've been doing this since 2015 and it's 2024, we're now, I would consider ourselves a real company.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's still a lot of risk that has to be taken. A lot of things I have to do correctly. There's a lot of things I can't screw up. Again, like I said in the last video, I don't have a plan B.
This is it.
You gotta throw that out the window.
Yep.
It's gotta work, and it's gotta work well, which means you have to make good products. Because if you don't, the best way to kill a company is with a lot of good advertising and crappy products.
And crappy customer service.
And bad customer service.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my phone's off right now.
Yeah.
I should be answering calls, but
Let's go to this warehouse then.
but I got someone else in the office, and he's got a video camera on me.
All right.
All right. So this is the office of my new warehouse, where I can drive myself crazy cutting up gloves in here. I don't know, this is my scream room or my rage room when things aren't, I can't get the gloves just quite right. I can just, but this is our new warehouse. It's kind of a mess right now because we had a delivery on Thursday, but this is the next one. And this will be filled pretty quick. We've got multiple containers on the water. And so those are t-shirts there that are going out. They're going on the site. I'm going to have some screen printed. I'm going to use some of the artwork on them. I don't know if you saw in the office, but there was a
skull?
A skull.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that's one where I did a reverse of the art. The art is the other way. It's the white on black. I wanted to do like a photo reverse. See what that looked like. Looks pretty good.
Let me go look at one of these t-shirts. Now you said you have more than one color.
Correct, yeah. So this is me finding a pair of Crows and Comanche, Armstrongs is what the ventilated Comanche is going to be called. pair of walkers and the Blackbird Special Edition, which we can see, just to get a pair. Now, this is a box that we opened.
Oh, I need the t-shirts.
Yeah, this is...
And guys, this feels so nice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's got that little bit of branding.
Is this shirt mine that I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can have all the shirts you want. I'm sorry I didn't send you one earlier.
Oh man, don't worry about it. You're so...
Well, I mean, it does look good on you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You might be a little biased.
No, I like it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In my peripheral vision, I'm looking at a box to the right, lower right. Isn't that what started this pretty much all? What's in that box?
Yeah.
What are these?
These are the first products that we ever made, were motorcycle face masks.
Yeah.
I never told you actually how I was able to develop boots so quickly. Zach came to me with this idea and he said, well, there's this thing called Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon.
Yeah.
They take out all the pain points of traditional retail, like fulfillment, returns, customer service. You send in their products, they distribute it throughout their fulfillment centers. They take care of everything else. You just got to make it and get it to them. So these face masks, back in 2015, motorcycle face masks were the first things that we made. I kind of realized it was pretty easy to beat other comparable products on the market because they were, at this point in time, there was a lot of just, 5 or like 20 for $10. And I was like, no, I'm going to make one good one. And I'm going to sell it for a regular price. I think we started at $7.95. It was our very first price point. And the quality of the masks got better, and changed certain stitching. I started with masks. Then it transitioned into gloves. That made us enough money for us to quit our jobs. We started moving into motorcycle gloves. That's when I first created the Indie Ridge Insiders, because I needed feedback from guys all over the country on how they feel in different conditions. How long can you wear a full gauntlet leather glove in the winter? My guys in Duluth, they helped me out with that one. What is it like in a place where it's really, really hot and humid? What is it like where it's really, really hot and dry? I mean, I'm here, it's 72 and sunny all day. So I needed those group of people. That's how the Insiders were born. But what kind of kickstarted the company is in 2019, I purchased Zach's half of the company because he realized I want to make a motorcycle brand. Nobody told me that I couldn't.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to make a motorcycle brand. And that was April of 2019. In February of 2020, I had about a 2-year supply of face masks. In March of 2020, everyone started to get a little nervous.
Yeah.
And then people started to get real nervous. And then COVID was in full swing. And it's kind of sucks to say, but it's certain, because a lot of companies went under, lost everything. But if you owned a plexiglass company at the time, you did great. If you owned the ability to make stickers, you did really well.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
Toilet paper.
Hair product.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't go and get their hair done. There's so many little weird things. And I happened to be sitting on a 1.5 to 2 year supply of face masks, which was the #1 search term on Amazon for 8 months. I remember there was a day where I sold $120,000 in face masks in one day. And that allowed us to basically raise a Series A or a seed round, whatever you want to call it, without giving up any equity. It was able to kickstart the company and move it forward 5 years. And that's how I got to be able to develop boots, which is where I wanted to go, because I couldn't find anything else in the market that I liked. And then that led me to version 1 of the boots.
Awesome. All right, so do you have, is there any other apparel that didn't you mention before something about a hoodie?
Yeah, I did. I have been working on a hoodie for a few years, and they were supposed to be out a long time ago. But I eventually killed it because I went into a production. So I went through versions of a Kevlar hoodie that looked and felt good. I finally approved a version, and we went into a small production run. And then I gave it to the Indie Ridge Insiders for them to try it and see, give me your feedback, how does it fit? They all loved it. I didn't. So I killed it. All that 2 years worth of work, I said, I'm going to pull the engine cord. And
what didn't you love about it?
there was a bunch of things, and this is what my job is to do, is to look at something. And I talked about this in the last interview a little bit. You can arrive at a website and you just feel like something's off and you don't trust the website for some reason. Maybe you can't put your finger on it, but there's a feeling that you get. And what it is there's a whole bunch of little things that are off that make it a subpar product. For me, they liked, and I still have them, now I just give them away. They love the hoodie, and it is a good hoodie. It's a great Kevlar hoodie. It's got a waterproof pocket, but I said no, these can be better. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why they could be better, but they could be a lot better. And it just, I mean, I'll give you one to try, and you can tell me if you like it or not. Okay. But after a long time of making apparel, I'll kill an entire production run of something if I don't think that it's worthy enough to go out to the public. Yeah. And that's it's hard because you spend a lot of time doing it and then you have to kill it. But it just wasn't right. It wasn't ready, and now I'm going back to it, and I'm using a different strategy. I'm using different material. Kevlar is kind of an old technology. Aramid, Aramid and Kevlar are the same thing. It just one's a trade name, so you have to pay for it to use the word Kevlar. I'm using it's kind of an older technology. So what I want to ultimately create is single layer hoodies, riding shirts, anything that can be AA certified. Okay. Now you would never have that in a hoodie that's AA certified. That's just, you'd have to have a lot of Kevlar on the inside. Yeah. But riding apparel you can wear in the summer when it's not so hot, that looks good, that drapes right. It took me 6 months just to figure out size grading for the t-shirts because they had to fit right. And that's all part of this process. It's all part of the testing. It's all part of giving them out to people. It's all trying to create better products every single time because I can't put out something that I know is not good enough or something I could do better at. Yeah. So there's some riding shirts and some stuff inside. that I'm going a different direction. I'm not going the Kevlar direction where I'm working with the material manufacturer, and we're working on certain materials that'll pass AA certification. AAA is like full leathers, that kind of thing. AA is basically what anybody is likely going to wear, unless you're, unless you're doing some kind of track racing or something like that. But
so you mentioned something to me yesterday about something I was wearing on my arms, and you said that you're going to have something for me. What's that?
Sleeves.
Sleeves. Indy Ridge sleeves.
Sleeves, yeah. There are small things like that too. Like we've been so focused on boots for so long, but going into apparel, not everybody can afford $200 boots, and that's fine. But they can afford some really nice sleeves. Yeah. And so I went through a couple iterations of materials for sleeves, and those are coming out. They're being made right now, and they're great. They just go on your arm. I need probably your arm dimensions, just so I can get an idea of what size you wear. Yeah, yeah. And then, we'll kind of, between yours and mine, we'll kind of split the difference, and we'll go, I'm a medium and you're you're an XL or something. But, sleeves, like all kinds of things that
awesome.
I can make now, that we can make, because the boots came first. Yeah, yeah. And so it's going to be interesting to see where all this goes. I mean, the fear and the nervousness is still there. Yeah.
You don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, and you can't. And that is the art of risk.
Yep, yep. That's awesome, man. I mean, exciting stuff for Indy Ridge in the future, and I'm looking forward to it. And I definitely want to be on this journey with you. Yeah, yeah. And thanks for being a great ambassador for the brand. Like, I feel like I got, I don't know, some kind of intervention with these forces coming, these people coming into my lives at certain times. You and John. Yeah. It felt serendipitous. It felt, I was looking at, I posted on my personal Instagram. And this is one of those things that I try to remind myself to do, is to know the good times when you're in them and recognize the good times when you're in them. Not just when they've come and gone. Yeah. And I had one the other night. I posted a photo of me just sitting on the 2024 Road Glide at Laidlaw Harley Davidson. Just sitting on it. And it was just a picture of me. I only have a few hundred followers. And then I looked at the people who commented on it. And it was Cliff, who's the international president of Red Rum, you, John, Matt Laidlaw, Shade Tree Surgeon, and all of the people who support us along the way. I was like, this is just a post on my personal Instagram that has 300 followers. And it was like, that was a fun moment. Yeah. Just that one little post, and to have those people in my life, I feel very, very blessed. And that's why I've only given away shirts so far. Yeah. I haven't even sold shirts. And so many people have my shirts because I made a bunch for Forgotten Angels in Tampa. I made them for a lot of the YouTubers and the Indy Ridge insiders who have YouTube channels so that they could sell it. But that's why the inside of the shirt says Indy Ridge for the people. Yeah. Because I got an email saying, all right, we've got 10,000 shirts, send us all your artwork. And I'm like, I don't have enough artwork for 10,000 shirts. So I said, guys, everybody send me their logos, and I'm going to make a bunch of shirts for you guys. So awesome. When you're in the position to do things for other people, I try to take them, because I feel like it's been a really, really good journey. Absolutely. And that's just in the last year alone.
that all this happened. And I'm curious to see where it goes in the future. Hopefully things continue to go well, but I'm still going to pretend like the bottom could fall out at any time.
All right, so if anybody wants to check out all of this awesome stuff and future stuff,
yeah,
how would they be able to do that?
IndieRidgeUSA.com. Or just, if you want to see reviews, just type in Indie Ridge. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
People have written a lot about us. There's a lot of videos have been made about the boots, about everything. I try to pride myself on our customer service. Remember I told you that story about the guy who wrote in an email. He filled out the customer form, and he was really angry. He was a motorcycle instructor, and he bought the boots and was wearing them, and he was out teaching a class, and his feet got wet. So he sent in just, kind of the fill out your information or ask your question here form. From the sound of it, you would sound like he hated us and our company. He said, I can't believe Rob Simmons promotes your gear and blah, blah, blah. These are trash. And so I looked up his order number and I gave him a call because I had his phone number. It went to voicemail, but I said, hey, this is Steve from Indie Ridge. I saw that you were unhappy with the product, and I just wanted to, and you don't have to call me back, I wanted to know a little bit more about the situation where the waterproof failed and why it failed. If I can get that little more information from you, that would be really, really helpful. He called me back, and it was like I was talking to a whole other person. He was like, I actually really love the boots. Like, they're the only boots that I can wear all day and still feel comfortable. I was like, oh, okay, that's good. It didn't sound like it. Tell me about the waterproofing. Like, what were you wearing? Were you standing in standing water? Tell me about that. Give me more information so I can make it better. And then he sent me an email later on saying, I want to thank you for reaching out to me as the owner of the company.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, why did it fail? Well, what were the conditions? Because there's a number of things that can go wrong, but it can also be, well, I was wearing shorts, and it was pouring and water came through the top. Well, I can't do much about that.
Yeah.
But it could have been a manufacturing flaw, and it gives you just another thing to work on for version 6 and all of that. So, like I said, you can type in Indie Ridge and you'll see a lot of stuff come up. Hopefully, most of it's good. But at the very least, there is another person. There are other people on the other end of the transaction, and we're here to make you a happy returning customer. That's the only reason that we exist is so we have happy customers who love our gear. And start by seeing a picture of a boot on a tiny picture, 100 pixels of the Comanche boot, let's say, on your iPhone in a sponsored ad, and going all the way through that customer journey, from taking a look online to the site, to maybe go back and reading some reviews, to maybe doing this, and maybe, to then maybe buying the boot. And then, okay, well, that's not my size. How do I return it? Well, that was kind of easy, and it's free, and the price point's relatively low. I'll exchange it. This is the right size. Okay, now I know my size. And then if they have a question, they can call, and guess who answers? All those things, that customer journey starts with a little 100 pixel picture, and it has to end with not just a returning customer, but a really happy customer and an advocate. That's what I want. That's why I'll always refund your money if you're no longer satisfied with the brand. IndyRidgeUSA.com. That's the website.
That's it. Listen, Steve, so speaking of those customers that call, I'm going to shut it down here so that they can actually get through to you. Appreciate you taking out your busy time to, you know, talk to me again and show me around and show us all around. And I'm very excited about everything coming up.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. I had a great time yesterday. Made the figure 8. It wasn't pretty.
Good. That's how smooth you got to stay, Steve. Just like that. Transition. Transition. There we go. Easy on that throttle. Transition. All right, this is it now. This is it. There we go, baby.
But you know, and it was loud, and hopefully, I think my bike's still rideable, but I kept it loaded.
There we go.
Loaded.
Preload and keep it loaded, brother.
It was loaded.
All right, guys. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you a little bit more insight on that man. I mean, I'm telling you, he's just on another level. And like he said, something as simple as a t-shirt, a lot of people will just want to just scale those t-shirts out, just get them out as quick as possible and forget about the quality, because there are a lot of people that would say it's just a t-shirt. It's just not how he operates, right, guys? All right, listen, put it in the comment section. Let me know if you, like me, are excited about, in particular, the Comanche boots, ventilated, and the black Comanche boots, right? Just whatever. Anything you want to put in the comment section, guys, I want you to put it in the comment section, all right? I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Steve. Big shout out to him and his staff. And listen, I'm only here for one more day, which actually technically not. Yes and no, I'm leaving tomorrow, but of course I'm here if I'm leaving, right? But this is my last time to be able to spend some time with Steve, and I'm glad that he had the time to accommodate me so that I can share it with you guys. All right, guys? All right, listen, I love you guys. Spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. It's not about being the best, guys. It's about being the boss. I'm talking about of your motorcycle. Seat time doesn't equal practice time, guys. And if you have time to ride your motorcycles, you have time to practice on them. That's not my opinion. Until next time.